This is a story of a Marine general who called out Mussolini and then was nearly court-martialed for it. El Duce came to power in the 1920s through manipulation and blaming everything on their enemies. Typical fascist. But by the 1930s, things weren't getting better in the United States, and they definitely weren't getting better in Europe. Fast forward to this devil dog behind me, a man by the name of Smedley Butler. One of the most famous Marines of the time. Even today, Marines going through boot camp, they know this guy got 2 Medal of Honors. Super famous for fighting in almost every country in South America. Later in his life, he became staunchly anti-war. General Butler was extraordinarily famous in the 1920s. I'd put him in the same category as James Mattis of today. So in the 1930s, he goes to a convention center in Philadelphia and gives a speech out to a large crowd. One of the members of the crowd is like, "Hey, what do you think about fascism? What do you think about Mussolini?" Now, he called Mussolini and Italy a mad dog nation. People that are believing in the cult of personality and completely manipulated. To prove his point of how bad of a person Mussolini was, he gave out an anecdote. Now, this is a story told to Butler by his friend Cornelius Vanderbilt IV. That guy, all right? So in the 1920s, Vanderbilt went and visited Mussolini in Italy in order to discuss trade. Mussolini and Vanderbilt are driving in a car. Mussolini's driving, and out of nowhere, a 6-year-old boy runs in front of his car, and Mussolini runs the kid down. Butler explained, "My friend jumped and screamed and said, 'What are you doing?' El Duce just turns and looks at him, puts his hand on his knee, and says, 'That was one life. What is one life in the affairs of the state?'" Now, this is a cold, terrible story, which was published all over the place. The Italians were very pissed off about the story. They were like, "You need a print to reprint, blah, blah, blah. We want him to suffer, blah, blah, blah." That never happened. Typical fascist lying talk. So the Marine Corps gets a hold of him and says, "Hey, you're not supposed to speak about politics, and we are going to court-martial you unless you take back what you said." And Butler's like, "No, that happened. I'm not taking back anything." Around the same time as this is happening, a reporter cuts a hold of Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt says, "Yes, that story is absolutely true." He explained when he was in the car with him and what happened. To the detail, accurate. Now, for geopolitical reasons, the Marine Corps is like, "We have to do something." So they settle on giving Butler a reprimand. Now, Butler's a general. So what they do is they're like, "You have to write your own reprimand." And he's like, "Fine, I'll do it, but I'm not taking back anything I say." Now, obviously, give it another 10 years, and we know exactly what happens when the United States ends up going to war with Italy.